Hi, this is part 2 of a video, and I just suited up as my first character, Excelsior the Lion, which I'm known in the fandom by, is just an alias. It's still Randolph Dennis Garrett in this outfit, and including having to stick my fingers up and push my glasses back. Probably should use that Croquis thing. Well, I broke the illusion. But that's part, this fursuiting is just a small part of all the wonderful things that us furries do. And it in itself is such tremendous fun. And it's worth the effort. And some would ask, once they get to know us in depth, once they've tried the fursuit out and so forth, is one of the things about our fursuits is they're difficult, uncomfortable, you overheat, you get tired very easily, we have to wear undergarments that wick away the sweat because it's so intense, relatively speaking, but if you pay attention, you're fine. Just be careful not to get too dehydrated or whatever, because it is a lot more activity and work than just walking down the street in your regular clothes. But what I kept seeing from the beginning of my learning about furries and fursuiting was all the pictures and videos on the internet of these absolutely gorgeous creations. This is to me ugly, because I'm comparing this creation of mine to what's done by professionals, and it's not a fair comparison, because it's such an open society, an open culture. There you can have anything from just a tail all the way through a full fursuit. It could be low quality, high quality, any animals, fantasy creatures, and so forth, whatever your imagination desires. And growing up, what clicked with me with the concept was, growing up, I had self-esteem issues and wanted to be merged somewhat with a lion. A lot of us have that, and a lot of people don't even realize they have that as part of their feelings, their psyche. And when they get in touch with it, they realize something they can enjoy and get into, which is what the art is about. We draw each other's characters. I'd forgotten to mention that in the artwork, it's often what we see ourselves as being, our character. What if we were a weasel? What if we were a lion? This is a lion, not a bear. I'm not an expert, believe me, but this is my first fursuit. And a part of what helped to change me so much was, at one point I said, I'm extremely jealous, I'm going to change that into action, and I'm going to make myself a fursuit. Now, I'm on a fixed budget, so I don't have much money. So I was spending money instead of on groceries. So, you know, I was trying to balance out between the two, but it's because this was so important that for me personally, and everybody's different, it was worth every penny to do it, and has improved me so much. And so when I went to make my own fursuit, because I didn't have money to hire somebody else to do it, usually we hire people, aka commission a fellow furry to either make art for us or make fursuits or whatever. Now, one of the basic concepts about a fursuit, that it's still what I always keep calling clothing, because we're using clothing materials, but most of the time it's this stuff, artificial fur. very plushy, very huggable. Oh, it's just so cool. And then when we have our fursuits made of that, and we create this character, wonderful things start to happen. And I'm still a newbie to it, so I'm probably just scratching the surface. And I certainly haven't done some things, like a conventional parade, or a charity function where they're fundraising for fighting cancer or whatever. I hope to get a chance to do one of those. But again, as I said, yeah, I'm repeating myself, sorry. We have these fursuits. They may be uncomfortable, relatively speaking, but it's because they're so much fun. Now, one of the things I've said about the furry culture is I discovered it's like a fountain of youth. We're learning how to play and have fun because we're doing something here. Oops. Get that out of there. I'm trying to find a quote here. Part of the playfulness. Why is there so much playfulness in being a furry, whether it's the art or the fursuiting? And we play around, we play with balls and so forth, or pretend to be an animal and so forth as part of the fun. And it's a line from Star Trek. I'm not much of a academic expert guy, so I can't quote some famous writer or whatever like that. I quote popular culture. In this case, Star Trek. The more complex the mind, the greater the need for the simplicity of play. Well, that's, you're doing one thing, you're doing this very serious job, it's a lot of pressure, and it's exhausting sometimes, so you take a vacation. And some would say, we're taking a vacation from reality. And I always think maybe they're saying it's negative, but it's positive. And because we're doing it for fun, to break away from our normal, very hard jobs that a lot of us have, just like most people. But instead of going on vacation to Niagara Falls, look at the falls, ride a boat, and maybe kiss, rent a room, kiss, whatever people do over there, or sitting at going to a place and sitting on a beach, or going to resorts, or whatever. Our vacation involves suiting up, involves going to conventions, the really big thing, the big accumulation of what might be called the furry year is the convention. And I went to my first one just a month and a half, about a month, a little over a month now. Seemed longer ago. I really miss it. And at the convention is something else. Is absolutely something else. But it's for us furries, so we get to let our hair down. So there's all sorts of art and all sorts of activities, all sorts of special interest groups, a panel on hyenas, a panel on lions, or whatever, where we talk about the character, or about the animal and so forth. Unfortunately, because of my hearing difficulties, at the convention I did not do those panels because I was not going to be able to hear what was being said. I shouldn't do this. This is American Sign Language for. Oh, we're not crazy. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, but no. This is a serious, intelligent stuff. I'm working with two therapists. Was on one until that ran out, and on a second therapist now, and both loved it. They loved my getting into the furry concept and what it's all about and what I'm doing and so forth. It's helped me so much. And one of the things we do, and often out of fursuit, is attending meetings. So we go there, we show each other art, we talk, get to know what's going on in each other's lives, and just socialize. And so some of the meetings, because they're at a restaurant, don't allow us to suit up because these are very clumsy and can lead to problems, especially in a crowded restaurant. So but there are fursuit activities. I live for those. They're tremendous fun just by themselves, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And one of the most common ones is bowling, but not conventional bowling. Now this is not a perfect example about how difficult it would be to bowl, but it's pretty close. We do fursuit bowling. So imagine a bunch of us characters. In our clothing, our foot paws, and others will have very difficult type of hands, which we call paws, you know, and try to bowl the ball. Try to get the darn thing down the lane. You're lucky to not keep it out on the gutter. That's what's so fun. It creates it adds a lot of difficulty to the game, a lot of challenge. That's the word, challenge. I was trying to use a term that's used in games and competition, but that's a no-no word, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a challenge. You could be an expert bowler and get the top score all the time. Poof! You put on a fursuit, and all of a sudden, oh my God, gutter balls! But we don't normally keep track of score. We're doing it for fun. It's pure fun. And it's just one thing we do. There's just so many. And in the bowling, there are some that are fursuiters because this is difficult, a lot of work, etc., etc., and a lot that are not. We're just furries with a common interest, bowling. And there's the activities we do. You know, that's why I have this here. It's a long list. One of the things about furries, before I have to change to the next segment of the video, is to illustrate there we go. To illustrate is we're taught, I certainly was, that above age 8 or something like that, when we're no longer a child, you can't play with stuffed animals or other toys. It's wrong, it's taboo, it's whatever. We're denying ourselves pleasure that is harmless, fun, and it's just wonderful. And it's related to something, for me, because I don't have much in the way of friends as yet. I mean, local friends, I should say, ones that I can get in physical contact with. Online, I've got so many friends. I'm sorry, kids, I can't keep track of you guys. What few of you who see this video. But the love and affection. And it's actually not a childish behavior, but an adult behavior. This is a small one, what we call plushies. It used to be called stuffed animals. And it's sort of like having a pet. But instead of when you try to hug a cat sometime or a dog, you know, they don't like it too much sometimes. Plushie, you can do anything, you know. Bang! Ooh, I heard it. No, you didn't. See, it's fake. So, I'm sorry, I get so emotional because this has so much changed my life. And I had such misery. I felt so unloved growing up. And now I feel so loved by the community. And I love the things that we do. Man, the things that we do. So, I'm going to run out of tape here. So before So this will be, this is part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. Same channel, same station.